Clara Thompson stood in the dimly lit study of their sprawling mansion, the kind of home that screamed old money and new ambition. It was late, past midnight, and Owen, her husband of 15 years, was out working late again. She wasn't naive. The lipstick stains on his collars had become as routine as his excuses. But tonight, something pulled her to his computer, a nagging intuition that whispered of deeper betrayals. The screen glowed to life with a tap, and there it was, a draft email in his outbox, addressed to his secretary, that perky 20-something named Madison. Clara's heart plummeted as she read the subject line, "Our future starts soon." Her fingers trembled over the mouse, but she clicked anyway. "Dear Madison," it began, "I've finalized the details. On October 15th, exactly 2 months from now, I'll tell Clara it's over. She's become a drag, clinging to her outdated ideas of marriage while I build an empire. I'll serve her the papers that morning, ensuring she gets nothing. The prenup is ironclad, and I've hidden the assets well. You'll move into the penthouse with me that night. Can't wait to leave that frigid bitch penniless and broken." Clara's breath caught in her throat. Frigid bitch? The words burned like acid. Owen, the charming lawyer who'd swept her off her feet in law school, now reduced her to this. She scrolled further, uncovering spreadsheets of divided assets, emails to offshore accounts, and even a mocking note. She thinks she's smart with her little side investments. Wait till she sees I've drained them too. Tears welled, but Clara wiped them away fiercely. No, she wouldn't crumble.
Not yet.
This wasn't just heartbreak, it was war. She memorized every detail, closed the email, and slipped back into bed, her mind racing with the seeds of revenge. The next evening, Clara moved through the kitchen like a ghost, preparing a lavish dinner. Roasted lamb, garlic mashed potatoes, and Owen's favorite red wine, laced with nothing but her simmering rage. Owen had invited Ethan Harper, his best friend and law partner, over for a casual catch-up. Ethan, with his kind eyes and quiet strength, had always been the steady counter to Owen's flash. Clara had noticed how Ethan looked at her sometimes, admiring, protective, but never crossing lines. As the doorbell rang, Clara plastered on a serene smile. "Ethan, so good to see you," she said, hugging him lightly. He smelled of fresh cologne and reliability, a stark contrast to Owen's perpetual aura of entitlement. "Clara, you look radiant as always," Ethan replied, his voice warm. He handed her a bouquet of lilies. "For the hostess who makes these dinners bearable." Owen chuckled from the living room, pouring drinks. "Bearable? Please, Ethan's just here for your cooking, babe." He's hopeless in the kitchen. Dinner unfolded with surface-level chatter. Cases won, clients wooed. But Clara observed Ethan closely. He laughed at Owen's jokes, but his eyes flicked to her with unspoken concern when Owen boasted about his latest conquest, a high-profile merger, he claimed, though Clara suspected it was code for something else. As Owen dominated the conversation, ranting about a rival firm, Ethan interjected mildly. "Owen, you're brilliant, but sometimes you push too hard. What about balance? Family?" Owen waved him off. "Balance is for losers, Ethan. Clara gets it. She handles the home front, so I can conquer." He winked at her, oblivious to the venom in her gaze. After dessert, as Owen stepped out for a quick call, Clara turned to Ethan over coffee. "You've been quiet tonight. Everything okay at the firm?" Ethan hesitated, his loyalty cracking just a fraction. "Owen's ambitious. Sometimes I wonder if he resents me for keeping things grounded." He met her eyes, and in that moment, Clara saw it. Resentment toward Owen, and something deeper for her. Admiration bordering on affection. She smiled inwardly. The poison was set. Now to brew the proposal. 2 days later, Clara arranged a private lunch with Ethan at a discreet cafe downtown, away from prying eyes. She arrived early, her heart pounding, but her face a mask of composure. Ethan showed up in his tailored suit, looking puzzled but intrigued. "Clara, this is unexpected. Is everything all right?" he asked, sliding into the booth. She leaned forward, her voice low and steady.
"No, Ethan."
"It's not." but I need your help to make it right. She slid a printed copy of Owen's draft email across the table. Ethan's face paled as he read it. My God, Clara. I had no idea. He's planning to leave you like this? And the firm, dissolve it. His eyes widened at the mention of Owen's scheme to cut him out, buried in the financial details she'd highlighted. Yes, Clara said, her tone ice cold. He's not just betraying me. He's planning to dismantle everything you've built together. Leave you with scraps while he starts fresh with Madison. Ethan's fists clenched. That bastard. I've covered for him for years. Late nights, ethical gray areas. And this is how he repays me. Clara nodded, seizing the moment. We can stop him, Ethan. Together. I have the funds from my investments, ones Owen doesn't know about, and the business savvy to rebuild. You have the legal expertise and reputation. Let's form a silent partnership. We'll take what's ours before he destroys it all. He stared at her, torn. Clara, this is betrayal. But, God, I've always admired you. More than I should. His confession hung in the air, vulnerable. She reached across, touching his hand lightly. Then let's turn that admiration into action. For both of us. By the end of lunch, Ethan agreed. The alliance was forged in whispers, a pact sealed with shared fury and unspoken longing. Ethan paced his apartment that night, the weight of Clara's proposal crushing him. Betray Owen? The man who'd been his roommate in college, his partner in crime, literally in some shady deals. But Owen's arrogance had grown toxic, his affairs blatant. And Clara, she'd always been the one who saw Ethan's worth, who listened when Owen dismissed him. The next morning, he met Clara in a park, away from offices and eyes. I've thought about it, he said, handing her a USB drive. This has access to Owen's client contacts, passwords, everything. But Clara, if we do this, there's no going back. She took it, her eyes fierce. Good. Because I don't want to go back. Owen planned to ruin us both. Now we ruin his plans first. Ethan nodded, but doubt lingered. What if he suspects? We've been friends for 20 years. Then remember why, Clara replied softly. He resents you, Ethan. Calls you the sidekick behind your back. I heard him once, laughing with Madison on the phone. That stung. Ethan's resolve hardened. All right, let's set the trap. But promise me, we do this clean. No loose ends. They spent the afternoon plotting, timing, clients to target, legal loopholes. As they parted, Ethan paused. Clara, why me? You could hire anyone. She smiled, genuine this time. Because you've always been loyal to what's right. And maybe because I see in you what Owen never could. His heart skipped. The dilemma dissolved. Loyalty shifted. For 2 grueling weeks, Clara and Ethan operated in shadows. By day, she played the dutiful wife. By night, they hunkered in a rented office space, laptops glowing, coffee fueling their coup. Look at this, Ethan said one midnight, pointing to a screen. Owen's top client, the tech mogul. His contract renews next month. If we approach now, citing instability in the firm due to Owen's personal issues. Clara grinned. Perfect. Draft the pitch. I'll handle the financial incentives. They worked tirelessly, Ethan providing insider intel, Clara weaving irresistible offers. Their first call was to Mr. Valdez, a billionaire investor. Mr. Valdez, Clara said smoothly over the phone, I'm calling on behalf of Harper Legal Solutions. We understand your current representation might face disruptions. We'd like to offer seamless transition with a 20% fee reduction. Valdez chuckled. Disruptions? Like Owen's messy divorce rumors? Tell me more. By dawn, Valdez signed on. They repeated the process, for more lucrative clients, poached with precision. Owen remained oblivious, too entangled in his affair. One night, as they celebrated a win with takeout, Ethan turned serious. Clara, this is working. But being here with you, it's more than business. She met his gaze. I know. And after this, maybe we explore that. Adrenaline surged. The coup wasn't just professional, it was personal rebirth. By week's end, the top 5 clients were theirs, Owen's empire crumbling unseen. As they packed up, Clara whispered, "Phase 1 complete. Now for the reckoning." Clara's office, a clandestine rented space tucked in a nondescript building, was a fortress of strategy. Papers littered the desk, client contracts, financial records, and a single document that glowed with malicious intent on her laptop screen. It was a divorce agreement, a mirror of Owen's ruthless terms from his draft email, but weaponized against him. Clara, with Ethan's legal input, had crafted a masterpiece, a contract that would strip Owen of his wealth, leveraging the assets they'd quietly secured from his firm's top clients. The deadline? October 15th, Owen's planned day to serve her papers. The irony was delicious. She leaned back, sipping black coffee, as Ethan reviewed the document. "This is brutal," he said, a mix of awe and unease in his voice. "You've used his own prenup clauses against him, alimony waivers, asset divisions. How'd you know he'd hidden those offshore accounts?" Clara's lips curled into a cold smile. "I didn't just find his email, Ethan. I've been tracking his moves for months. Every late night, every business trip. His sloppiness gave me everything." Ethan nodded, but his brow furrowed. "Clara, this ruins him."
"Completely."
"Are you sure?" She fixed him with a steely gaze. "He wanted me penniless and broken. I'm just returning the favor. You in or out?" He exhaled, running a hand through his hair.
"In."
"Let's finish it." They spent hours refining the document, ensuring every clause was airtight. Clara added a final touch, a clause citing irreconcilable differences due to documented infidelity, with space for evidence, screenshots of Owen's emails to Madison, bank transfers to her account, even hotel receipts. Ethan whistled low. "You're terrifyingly good at this." "Good." Clara laughed, a sharp edge to it. "I'm just getting started." October 1st dawned crisp and clear, a perfect day for chaos. Owen strode into his law firm's sleek office, expecting another day of dominance. Instead, he froze. Ethan's corner office was barren. Desk cleared, photos gone. Not even a stray pen. A note sat on the empty chair. "Effective immediately. I resign. Harper Legal Solutions is operational. Good luck, Owen." His face reddened as he stormed to his own office, barking at his assistant. "Where the hell is Ethan? What is this nonsense?" The assistant, nervous, handed him a formal letter. Ethan had dissolved their partnership overnight, citing strategic differences. Worse, a follow-up email from their top client, Valdez, landed in Owen's inbox. "We've moved to Harper Legal Solutions due to concerns about your firm's stability." 4 more emails followed, each a defection from a major client. Owen slammed his fist on the desk. "Ethan, you backstabbing bastard." He dialed Ethan's number, but it went straight to voicemail. Then he called Clara, voice dripping with suspicion. "Did you know about this?" Ethan's gone rogue. Clara, lounging at home, feigned shock.
"Ethan?"
"No, Owen, I had no idea. Maybe he got tired of your leadership style." She hung up, smirking, as Owen's world began to crack. That evening, she met Ethan at their secret office. "He's unraveling," Ethan said, almost gleeful. "Called me a traitor in voicemails. He doesn't suspect you yet." "Good," Clara replied. "Let him think it's just you. He'll never see me coming." October 15th arrived, the day Owen had marked for his grand exit. Clara woke early, her heart a drumbeat of anticipation. She dressed in a sharp black blazer and skirt, her appearance a calculated blend of elegance and menace. At 9 a.m., she strode into Owen's office building, divorce papers in a sleek leather folder. The receptionist, startled, buzzed her through. Owen was mid-meeting with a junior associate when Clara entered without knocking. "Clara?" "What the?" he started, but she cut him off, sliding the papers across his desk. "Divorce papers, Owen," she said, voice like silk over steel. "Sign them. Now." He laughed, a nervous edge to it. "You're joking." "I was going to." "Going to what?" she interrupted, leaning in. Serve me these. She tossed a printed copy of his draft email onto the desk. His face drained of color as he scanned it, realizing his secrets were exposed. You plan to leave me penniless. Instead, I've taken your clients, your firm's future, and soon your pride. The associate scurried out, sensing the storm. Owen stammered. How did you, Ethan? That's Snake. No, darling, Clara said, smiling. This was all me. Ethan just helped clean up your mess. Sign, or I drag this through court with every dirty detail public. He signed, hands shaking, as Clara walked out, the office whispering in her wake. The war was won before lunch. Madison was waiting in Owen's penthouse, her bags half-packed for their new life. When he returned, disheveled and defeated, she pounced. What's going on, Owen? You said today was the day. Why's your firm imploding? Owen slumped onto the couch, head in hands. Clara, she knew everything. Served me papers. Ethan's gone, took our clients. I'm finished. Madison's eyes narrowed, her voice rising. Finished? You promised me wealth, power, a life. I didn't sign up for a broke lawyer. She hurled a wine glass at the wall, shards scattering. You told me Clara was nothing, that you'd handle her. I tried. Owen snapped. She outsmarted me. And Ethan. Forget Ethan. Madison shrieked. You're nothing without your money. I'm not sticking around for this. She stormed to the bedroom, slamming the door. Owen stared at the wreckage, realizing Madison's loyalty was as shallow as his own. Clara, meanwhile, sipped champagne with Ethan at their new office. Madison's probably losing it, Ethan said, grinning. Let her, Clara replied. She'll leave him soon enough. Phase 2 complete. The annual legal gala was the event of the year, a glittering affair at a downtown hotel. Clara and Ethan arrived arm in arm, she in a stunning emerald gown, he in a tailored tuxedo. Whispers followed them. Clara, the scorned wife turned victor. Ethan, the loyal friend turned rival. Owen, relegated to a corner table, watched with a clenched jaw as they entered. Clara took the stage to accept an award for Emerging Legal Talent, a nod to her role in Harper Legal Solutions' meteoric rise. Her speech was poised, pointed. Success comes from partnership, she said, eyes locking on Ethan. I owe everything to the man who saved me, not just my career, but my future. The crowd erupted in applause, but Owen's face twisted in fury. As Clara descended, he cornered her near the bar. You think you've won? He hissed. Parading around with my best friend? You're pathetic. Clara laughed softly, unfazed. Pathetic? Owen, I'm thriving. You're the one clinging to scraps. She gestured to Ethan, who approached, protective. He's not your best friend anymore. He's mine. Ethan stepped between them. Back off, Owen. You lost. Accept it. Owen stormed out, the gala buzzing with the showdown. Social media exploded. Hashtag Clara vs. Owen trending by midnight. Clara leaned into Ethan, whispering, one more move, and he's done. 2 months after the divorce was finalized, Clara stood in the garden of her new penthouse, the city skyline glittering below. The divorce had left her not just free but empowered, with Ethan's partnership turning their fledgling firm into a legal powerhouse. Tonight, though, wasn't about business. She adjusted the sapphire ring on her finger, its weight a thrilling promise. Ethan had proposed the night before, in a quiet moment after a late strategy session, his words raw and earnest. Clara, I've loved you in silence for years. Let me love you out loud now. She'd said yes, her heart racing not just with love, but with the delicious symmetry of it all. Owen's betrayal had birthed this, a new life, a new love, and a chance to rewrite her story. Now, it was time to make it public. Clara opened her Instagram, posting a single photo, her hand in Ethan's, the ring catching the light, captioned, a new chapter begins. Hashtag forever with you. Within minutes, notifications flooded in, likes, comments, shares. By morning, the post had gone viral, picked up by gossip blogs and legal news outlets alike. Headlines screamed, scorned wife steals husband's best friend, and Clara Thompson's revenge engagement shocks legal world. At his cramped rental apartment, Owen saw the post on his phone, his coffee mug slipping from his hand. The comments were merciless. Karma's a queen, and Owen who? Clara's winning. He hurled his phone against the wall, the screen cracking. His humiliation was complete, broadcast to the world in high-definition glory. Clara, sipping champagne with Ethan, smiled at the chaos. "He's reading it now, isn't he?" she said. Ethan chuckled, pulling her close. "Oh, he's losing it. Ready for the next step." "Always," she replied, her eyes gleaming with intent. Owen's mansion, once a symbol of his success, was now a financial albatross. Clara's divorce settlement had left him with mounting debts, and the house, leveraged to the hilt during his reckless spending with Madison, was on the market. He stood in the foyer, surrounded by boxes, as realtors paraded potential buyers through. Each visitor felt like a vulture circling his pride. Unbeknownst to him, Clara was orchestrating the final blow. Using a shell company to mask her identity, she'd placed the winning bid. The day the sale closed, Owen received a call from the realtor. "Congratulations, Mr. Thompson." The buyer's thrilled. "They're moving in next week." "Who is it?" Owen asked, voice hollow. "Anonymous, per their request," the realtor said. "But they love the place. Said it feels like home already." That evening, Clara and Ethan drove to the mansion. The keys were hers now. She walked through the grand halls, memories of Owen's betrayal mingling with her triumph. "This was his castle," she said, running a hand along the marble banister. "Now it's ours." Ethan grinned. "You're a genius, you know that? He'll never see this coming." They toasted in the master bedroom, where Clara had once found Madison's earring under the pillow. "To new beginnings," she said, clinking her glass against Ethan's. Outside, Owen drove by one last time, oblivious that the new owner watching from the window was the wife he'd tried to destroy. Owen's life was unraveling faster than he could grasp. Jobless, with his reputation in tatters, he haunted dive bars, seeking solace in cheap whiskey. One night, at a grimy pub near his old office, he spotted a former colleague, Tom, nursing a beer. Desperate for an ally, Owen slid into the booth. "Tom, you've got to help me. Clara and Ethan, they've ruined me. She's a snake, and he's no better." Tom leaned back, unimpressed. "Owen, you did this to yourself. You think we didn't know about Madison? Or how you planned to screw Ethan out of the firm?" He paused, sipping his drink. "But you want to know the real kicker? Clara came to me months ago. She had proof, your emails, your accounts. She didn't just outsmart you. She outplayed you at every turn." Owen's jaw dropped. "Months ago? She planned this. All of it." Tom nodded. "She's a damn mastermind. You underestimated her, and now you're paying for it." He stood, tossing a few bills on the table. "Good luck, Owen. You'll need it." Owen sat frozen, the bar's noise fading to a dull roar. Clara hadn't just reacted. She'd orchestrated his downfall with surgical precision. He stumbled outside, shouting into the night, "You win, Clara." Passers-by stared, some filming the disgraced lawyer's meltdown. By morning, the clips were trending on X, another nail in his coffin. The wedding was a spectacle, held in the mansion's sprawling garden, now Clara's domain. White roses draped the arbor, and the guest list was a who's who of the legal world, everyone but Owen. Clara, radiant in a sleek ivory gown, walked down the aisle to Ethan, whose eyes shimmered with pride and love. The ceremony was intimate, but the reception was a statement. As champagne flowed, Ethan took the microphone for his best man speech. Ironic, since he was the groom. The crowd hushed as he began, his voice steady but emotional. "I've known Clara for years, always in the shadow of someone who didn't deserve her." He glanced at her, his gaze softening. "I stayed silent too long, watching her strength, her grace, while someone else tried to break her. I'm ashamed I didn't speak up sooner, but I'm here now, vowing to stand by her side. Always." Clara's eyes glistened, and the crowd erupted in applause. Whispers rippled. Everyone knew the someone else was Owen. Ethan continued, "Clara didn't just survive betrayal. She rebuilt herself, stronger, smarter. She's my partner, in life and in law, and I'm the luckiest man alive. As they danced under the stars, Clara whispered, "That was perfect. He's hearing about this tomorrow, isn't he?" Ethan smirked. "Oh, it's already trending. He'll feel every word." Owen's fall was complete. Living in a rundown studio, he scraped by on odd jobs, his law license under review. Desperate, he called his mother, Eleanor, a stern woman who'd always favored his ambition. "Mom, I need help," he pleaded. "Clara's taken everything, my firm, my house, my life." There was a long pause. "Owen," Eleanor said, her voice icy, "Clara came to see me last month. She showed me your emails, your plans to ruin her. You think I'd side with you after that? You're my son, but you're a disgrace." Owen's heart sank. "You're choosing her over me?" "I'm choosing right over wrong," Eleanor snapped. "Clara's built something real. You built lies. Don't call again until you've made amends." The line went dead. He sat in the dark, the weight of his isolation crushing. Even his family had turned, swayed by Clara's unyielding truth. Across town, Clara and Ethan celebrated a new client win, oblivious to Owen's despair. Her victory wasn't just financial or social, it was moral, a reclamation of everything Owen had tried to steal. Madison's heels clicked furiously against the cracked linoleum of Owen's dingy studio apartment, her designer bags slung over her shoulder. The air reeked of stale beer and defeat. She stood over Owen, who slumped on a threadbare couch, staring blankly at a muted TV. The woman who'd once draped herself in his promises of wealth now looked at him with unmasked contempt. "You're pathetic," she spat, tossing a handwritten note onto the coffee table. "I thought you were king, Owen. Turns out, you're nothing without your money." The note was brutal, a scrawled litany of his failures. Broke, weak, humiliated. "I'm done." Owen barely lifted his head. "Madison, I'll fix this. Give me time." "Time," she laughed, shrill and cutting. "I gave you my best years, and you gave me this dump? I'm not your charity case." She stormed to the door, pausing to deliver the final blow. "I'm leaving for Miami tonight. Found someone who can actually provide. Older, richer, smarter. Goodbye, Owen." The door slammed, echoing in the hollow space. Owen stared at the note, his hands trembling. Madison's departure wasn't just a loss, it was a mirror reflecting his collapse. Rumors swirled on X within hours. Madison spotted at the airport with a silver-haired tycoon, her Instagram stories flaunting a private jet. Owen was erased from her narrative, a footnote in her climb to better prospects. Across town, Clara scrolled through the posts, a faint smile playing on her lips. "She didn't last long," she said to Ethan over dinner at their new penthouse. He chuckled, pouring her wine. She was always in it for the gold. Owen's learning that the hard way. Clara raised her glass. To loyalty or the lack of it. The ribbon-cutting ceremony for Harper Legal Solutions was a spectacle, held in the very building that once housed Owen and Ethan's old firm. The new logo, a sleek, intertwined H and C, loomed large on the glass facade, a deliberate taunt to Owen's memory. Clara and Ethan stood side by side, surrounded by reporters, clients, and curious onlookers. The firm had already secured a reputation as a powerhouse, its client list growing by the day. Inside, the office gleamed with modern elegance. Open spaces, glass walls, and a corner suite where Clara and Ethan shared a desk, a symbol of their equal partnership. At the reception, Clara addressed the crowd, her voice clear and commanding. "Harper Legal Solutions isn't just a firm, it's a promise. We build success on trust, not betrayal." The crowd applauded, but Ethan's eyes were on her, brimming with pride. Later, as they mingled, a reporter asked, "Miss Thompson, rumors say this location was chosen to send a message. Care to comment?" Clara smiled, poised. "The best message is success. We're here to stay, and this building suits us perfectly." Behind her, Ethan whispered, "Owen's probably watching this on some grainy live stream, fuming." "Let him," Clara replied. Every step we take buries him deeper. That night, X posts buzzed with photos of the event. Hashtags like hashtag HLS launch and hashtag Clara rules trending. Owen's name surfaced only in sneering comments, a ghost in the shadow of their triumph. Owen's new reality was a far cry from his old life. Reduced to delivering takeout to scrape by, he pedaled through the city on a battered bike, his tailored suits replaced by a faded uniform. One evening, his delivery route took him to a high-end restaurant downtown. As he waited for an order, he glanced through the window and froze. There they were, Clara and Ethan, laughing over candlelit plates, her hand resting on his. She was radiant, her smile unguarded, while Ethan looked at her with a devotion Owen had never offered. They were everything he wasn't: successful, in love, untouchable. Owen stood rooted, invisible to them, a specter of his former self. A waiter tapped his shoulder. "Hey, delivery guy, your order's ready. Move it." Owen grabbed the bag, his throat tight. He biked away, the image of their happiness burning into him. At a stoplight, he checked his phone. X was flooded with photos from the restaurant, tagged Power Couple Goals. He was a nobody now, a footnote in their story, while Clara and Ethan owned the spotlight. Back at the penthouse, Clara leaned into Ethan, unaware of the encounter. "You think he's still out there, plotting some comeback?" Ethan shook his head. "He's got nothing left. You made sure of that." She nodded, but her eyes held a flicker of something: closure, perhaps, or the satisfaction of a game well played. In the quiet of his studio, Owen sat at a rickety table, pen in hand. The weight of his losses, Clara, Madison, his career, his family, had finally cracked him open. He wrote a letter, raw and unfiltered, pouring out his regret. "Clara," it began, "I was a fool. I underestimated you, betrayed you, and lost everything. You deserved better, and I'm sorry for the pain I caused." The words flowed, clumsy but honest, a confession of his arrogance and greed. He folded the letter, hands shaking, and headed to Harper Legal Solutions building. It was late, the city quiet, but he needed to see her, to hand her this fragment of his remorse. As he approached, he saw Clara emerge, radiant in a tailored coat, laughing with a colleague. She was untouchable, a queen in her own empire. Owen stopped, the letter heavy in his pocket. She didn't need his apologies. She'd moved beyond him entirely. He tore the paper into pieces, letting them scatter in the wind, and walked away, invisible once more. Clara, oblivious, drove home to Ethan, her life full and forward-moving. Owen's regret was his to carry, not hers to bear. 1 year after their wedding, Clara and Ethan hosted an anniversary party at the mansion, now fully theirs, redecorated to erase Owen's presence. The grand dining room glowed with candlelight, filled with friends, clients, and the hum of success. Clara wore a sleek silver dress, Ethan in a sharp suit, their ease with each other a quiet testament to their bond. As dessert was served, Clara stood, raising a glass. The room hushed. "A year ago," she began, her voice warm but commanding, "I stood on the edge of losing everything. But one man believed in me, fought for me, loved me when I needed it most." She turned to Ethan, her eyes softening. "Thank you for showing me what true partnership looks like. To us, to trust, to triumph, to a future we built together." Ethan stood, pulling her close, and kissed her to cheers from the crowd. To Clara, he added, "The strongest woman I know, and the only one I'll ever love." The toast echoed online, clips of their speech going viral, cementing their story as one of revenge, redemption, and unbreakable love. Owen, scrolling through X in his dim apartment, watched the video in silence. Clara was happy, whole, and free, owning everything he'd valued: his home, his legacy, his pride. He turned off his phone, the screen going dark as Clara's light shone brighter than ever. The end.